Morning, folks. How are you this morning? It's a fine Friday morning, and it's been quite a week, and I've had a lot of things going on. And as I said, I'm going to skip from doing live video chats to on Facebook here to doing actual videos, so I can use them in more than one area, and I can edit them a little bit. And with that, as I said, it's been a really, really busy week, so I apologize for not getting a new video on here yet. But today is a good day, at any rate, folks. So there's a lot of things going on in this world right now. There's, the whole deal with the stuff in the U.S. with the rioting and shooting and the different things that are happening, and I have an opinion about that, as we all do. And getting into it too deep is not something that I'm going to do, except for, in fact, where I'm going to say the gentle protest, I agree with. I do not agree with rioting. I don't agree with the violence that goes along with it, but I understand it also how up in arms people are about people shooting people in the line of duty and having it not be look or be right. And one thing we've learned about everything in regards to even dealing with this stuff with CBT and NLP and dealing with people with PTSD and trauma is everybody has their opinion about it and everybody knows what they're doing. However, I'm a big fact guy, and I've been reading some articles here lately on it, and so people that really have been there, been to South Africa, been around black people, been around that type of people. I have a very good friend of mine that is a black man, and another white friend of mine that's kind of half black, whitest guy ever, whitest black guy I ever met. But the bottom line is, folks, it's kind of like looking at more and more like the end times. Even for a non-believer, if you look at Revelations and stuff in the Bible, as a non-believer, you might even go, holy crap, like this is pretty accurate. And that really kind of concerns me for the most part, for people, in regards to just the world is going kaput in French, they might say kaput, and I don't like it. With hashtag 19 and all the things that are going on, I don't like it. So getting back to the original topic that I talk about all the time, who am I and what do I do, and who am I and who am I not? I just want to talk about that. Who am I when it comes to being prejudiced? Who am I when it comes to believing in what people do? Man, it's kind of a difficult one for me, because I grew up kind of in a neutral environment as far as prejudice go. I'm sure there was a few rude comments that, like there always is in families and stuff like that. But I think in my case, my personal opinion with this one is live and let live. And people, all people, whatever color, race, religion, everything else, have a freedom, especially in Canada, to be able to go out there and express themselves. And, every huge war that's ever been created has always been over religion and things like that. And I get that. This whole thing with the protesting and stuff, I support, as I said, a protest for the rights of black, the rights of white, the rights of Chinese, the rights of Asian, the right of everybody who lives in this world. I've heard it said many times, and I've been guilty of it myself on a few occasions. Like when I got hit in my accident here, February 2019, I was hit by a gentleman that was from a different country, and everybody says, when I get hit, a truck driver or somebody like a truck driver, first of all, he said, well, I bet you it was a guy with a do-rag or a rag, and I bet you he didn't speak English. And that's the nice things people say about it, folks. They're human people. They bleed red, they piss yellow. That's where I'm at with it. You'll never take that away from me. It's something that I've developed within myself, not to hate. And this is hate, folks. These things that are happening are hate, and it's getting way out of control. But in my case, I desire not to hate. Oh, I've got some few things that are going on in my world that makes me want to hate people. But you know what, folks? I can't do that. I just can't. And that's me. Who am I? I'm not the guy who loves to hate. Who am I? I'm not the guy who's going to fake how I feel. Who am I? I'm not going to get into the pond and get shitty if I'm going to smell like shit. And that's something that I'm learning as I go along here. I could dive in with both feet in this situation, and literally as a public figure, so I've been called, I'm going to get shit all over me, and I'm going to get smelling really, really bad. So I'm not going to do that. Um, it's made me take a real good look at me, though, and I'm hoping with you people out there, it helps you take a real good look at you, too. How do I feel about this? How do I feel about black, white, Asian, Hispanic, East Indian, Cree? How do I feel about all these people? And does it really, really matter, what the input is from me? Sure it does. People are listening, folks. Impressionable people are listening. There's two types of people in this world, that there's the kind that lead. I love to lead, that's what I do. And there's people who like to follow, that would love nothing more than me to pave the path for them and do the things. I was having a conversation last night with somebody who's very important to me as well. An entire family, actually. We were having a conversation after a nice meal and some, different things that we're doing out there. And here's the thing. The thing I struggle with in regards to people is that they will get to a certain level, folks. You'll get to a certain level and you'll plateau out and you'll be okay there. And there's a section of my course that I'd like to teach on that too, talking about how that when we get to a certain level and we're okay, like maybe we're just okay with just having enough money to cover our bills and having a few bucks extra. Maybe we're okay with that. In my case, I'm not okay with just covering the bills. I'd like to be able to help others as well. In order to be able to do that, I need to be able to have the funds to be able to do that. And I'm not going to stop being the giver. So I wanted to talk on that as well as who am I and what do I do? I'm a giver. I love to give. However, people take advantage of that sometimes as well, people will, look at these things and they'll go, oh, Bill's a giver, so therefore I'm a taker. And then you got the other people who say, please don't, Bill, don't give to me. I can do it all on my own. And this one really is something I need to elaborate on as well. The people I give to that say, Bill, stop giving to me because I'm going to do it all myself. Well, folks, we were never designed to do it all ourselves. We really weren't. We were designed to work as a team, you might say. There's no I in team. It's TE, right? No, there's no I in team. So when somebody reaches out to help you, folks, take a good look at why. What's the motivation behind it? That's the other thing. Whenever I help out somebody, what's your ulterior motive, Bill? Do you have one? What are you up to? I've heard lots of stories about you, Bill. By God, you're doing this to be able to get me in bed. I've heard that one. I've heard, you just want to do this so that you can look good. That's all possibility, I suppose. But the reason I give, folks, is not so that I can look good. In fact, I'm starting to go back more and more to my roots of giving, and that is not letting anybody know I did it. Just doing it, not letting them know. Like, for example, you give a vehicle. You don't go and tell them that you gave them a vehicle. You take that bill of sale, you fill it all out, you leave their name and address blank on it, and you put the keys at their doorstep and say, this is a gift for you, end of story. Don't tell a soul. And I'm going to get back more into doing that because I've been on the outlet, man. I'm going to be looking at this completely different now on. Giving in secret is giving indeed. You don't have to, when my understanding, when Christ walked this earth, he never gave like that. He didn't, go out there and have Twitter and YouTube and Facebook and everything else in place. So you want to know a big part of me, who I am, what I do, and why I do what I do? It's because I love to see the look on people's faces when finally, in this world, somebody steps up and says, I'd like to give to you something or some cash or whatever the case may be, and I want you to enjoy your life. And you know what? There's not enough of that going on out there. I've always said if the whole world got together and pooled all their money together and helped all the individuals, all prejudice aside, helped all the individuals, then we wouldn't have an issue financially in this country at all. The problem is, we've all heard it, we've all heard this statement, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. You got your higher class, your upper middle class, you got your low class, and then you got the scum of the earth. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story about the scum of the earth. When I was 19, right, I got off the streets in Saskatoon, and I'll tell you what, I may have been looked at as scum of the earth. Who am I today? what do? It's because of the motivation of that, and realized I was very alone out there and people were not going to help me because they were afraid of me. Number one, that was the biggest thing, is fear. That was a huge thing that I learned, that people are afraid of people that are different than them. Wow, eh? That's what it is, folks. People are afraid of people that are different than you. So what about the giving? What does Bill's mind, your business, stand for in regards to giving? It stands for this, folks. If you need help, we'll do our best to help. And we're going to change things up a little bit. The amount that we give, why we give it, and the purpose we give it for. So that's a very important thing that people need to know for us. Is that I love to see people do well, but I don't like to see people get taken advantage of. I don't like to see people play their own games. Now, everybody has an ulterior motive. Not just me, not just you, but everybody. And anybody who says that they don't have one, they're just lying to themselves. Everybody's got ulterior motive. Everybody's got an idea of what they're going to do. If I get $10,000, this is what I'm going to do. If I get $100,000, this is what I'm going to do. And if I become a millionaire, this is what I'm going to do. That's an agenda, folks. And agendas poison things. I'm not talking about goals. I'm talking about agendas. I'm talking about what you're going to do if you do this, what you're going to do if you're going to do that. And you got it all figured out, don't you, folks? That's why you get that plateau that I was talking about. You get that plateau where you just have everything met, or you just have that 100 grand, or you just have that 200 grand, or you just have $1 million, and you settle right there. Like there's nothing more. We were having a conversation last night. I was talking about exactly that, and how I'm not willing to stay there, but my expectations in other people must be that they may not want to go where I go. They may not to recover as I can recover. That's okay in part. It frustrates me because I know that people can go much further. I get that. However, they're going to go where they're going to go, and they're going to plateau, and they're going to do their own thing. That's been a harsh lesson for me. That not everybody's like me, folks. Everybody's like them, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And God help me if I try and change somebody into what they're not. If there's one thing that you can do really, really bad, messed up in regards to PTSD and trauma, and working with CBT and NLP and working with people with depression, anxiety, and all those things, the worst thing that you can do is try and make them like you. You're going to be like them, folks. And that means they plateau out and they become that person, and that's all they need. All they need is to pay their bills and just make ends meet, or love their family, or quit hating on their kids, or quit hating on their animals. That's where it's going to be. That's something I have to accept too. Now, me on the other hand, my choice is to continue to work hard on changing me and making big changes in my world, right? That's important to me. There's lots of things I'm doing. I'm not going to get into sharing all of them, but right now I'm looking at maybe even, no, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not even going to tell you what I'm going to do. My agenda is very simple. Do the best I can do, work as hard as I can, and make the changes happen in my world. So just a little video for you. I'm going to start doing more and more of these just when I get time. Sitting on my deck, maybe in some other beautiful spots. Maybe I'll sit down with damn muskrats. Great. God, just a little footnote in closing here. Muskrats are frickin' evil, man. I don't know whether you looked at my Facebook here, but if you did, you'll see that I've had some interesting things when it comes to muskrats come above. They are powerful, powerful creatures, and they are evil as hell. And I watched what they can do to a trap when they get their paw caught in the trap. Like literally rip their nail right off trying to get out of it and destroy the trap. That's a 14-pound piece of shit muskrat. And I'm telling you what, I don't know what to do about them except for shoot them and trap them and do all the things you can do. But my God, God created those two? What the hell was he thinking? When he created a muskrat. Anyhow, that's all I'm going to say today. I want you guys to have a great day, unless you have other plans.